ICE agents carried out a raid in Newark. Donald Trump was sworn in as the 47th president, and the TikTok ban has been postponed. All this and more on this episode of Hawk TV News. Good evening and welcome back to the first episode of Hawk TV News this semester. My name's Chloe Goss.
And I'm Daysani Clark.
Immigration and Customs Enforcement agents raided a local business in Newark, New Jersey on Thursday, January 23rd, and arrested multiple undocumented individuals and United States citizens without a warrant. Included in this arrest was a U.S. military veteran whose documentation was reportedly questioned for illegitimacy, according to a statement produced by Newark's Mayor Ras Baraka. Baraka called the incident, quote, egregious and a violation of the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution, and further condemned the actions of the agents. A spokesperson for Immigration Customs Enforcement produced a statement on the situation, stating that they may, quote, encounter U.S. citizens while conducting field work and may request identification to establish an individual's identity. They declined to comment further on the ongoing investigation.
Donald Trump was sworn in as the 47th president of the United States in Washington, D.C. on January 20th. He emphasized that, quote, America's decline is over. Trump returns to the White House overcoming 4 criminal indictments and 2 assassination attempts, which is considered one of the most remarkable political comebacks in U.S. history. He referred to his inauguration as, quote, Liberation Day, declaring a, quote, tide of change is sweeping the country. Inauguration Day includes various ceremonies, events, and performances beyond just the swearing-in ceremony. Elon Musk sparks a huge controversy with a gesture during the rally that appeared to be a fascist salute commonly associated with Adolf Hitler's Nazi Germany. Another event that took place during the inauguration was Trump issuing pardons for January 6 defendants. He claimed that the rioters were treated unfairly by the U.S. Legal system. He listed a couple of changes that would take place during his presidency, such as taking back the Panama Canal, reduce the prices of groceries, and to declare a national emergency at the country's southern border. He said, quote, all illegal entry will be immediately halted, and that his administration will, quote, begin the process of returning millions and millions of criminal aliens back to the places which they came from.
We're going to Jefferson Gonzalez for another segment of Jammin' with Jeff.
Yo, 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 yo. Welcome back to another segment of Jammin' with Jeff. Today, we got an interesting album to talk about. We got, as you can see here, a very interesting picture. And if you don't know who this is Mac Miller. And if you don't know who Mac Miller is, well, you're lying to yourself because you do. He has songs like The Spins, which is very popular. It's a very popular graduation song. I put that on my story when I graduated high school. He has Congratulations with Ariana Grande. He also dated Ariana Grande for a good time before he passed away, rest in peace. But yeah, I love Mac Miller, maybe. That's a very strong word. I'm a fan of Mac Miller. I don't like all of his music, but I like the majority of his music. I like more of his mellow, chill, relaxed kind of vibes. Mac Miller had a very long career. He started making music when he was 16, 17 in high school. And that music at that time period was known as frat rap, or that's what they would like to say. That's what I heard in a documentary about him. But yeah, his music has changed a lot over time. And unfortunately, he passed away at the age of 23, I think in 2020. And he's progressed a lot. And since his death, they have made 2 posthumous, I don't know, I can't speak. But they made 2 albums after his death. The first one being Circles, which is my favorite album of all time. I love that album so much. And the second one being Balloonerism, which is this one, which just came out recently, about a couple weeks ago, on the 19th of January. And I listened to the album. It was one night, I couldn't go to sleep, so it was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was like, let me listen to this album. And it was a very interesting experience. That's something that I would tell you. As I was listening to this album, it really gives off old Mac, and it gives off old Mac because it is old Mac. Mac Miller created this album in between creating 2 other albums back in 2011 which was a long time ago. In 2011, I don't even know what I was doing. I think I was in grade school. I wasn't even in middle school yet. But yeah, 2011 was a long time ago. And you can hear it in the album that it sounds like old Mac. It sounds like, not frat Mac, but it's very interesting. And I think during this time, Mac Miller was definitely going through something, and you can hear it in his music. And unfortunately, if you don't know, Mac Miller died due to substance abuse, and that's something that he struggled with for a very long time. And that's something that you can hear in this album itself. I think if I had to describe this album in a couple words, it's basically running away with no direction to go. And it's very sad. And yeah, I miss Mac Miller a lot, and I'm so sad that he died. But I'm glad that we have this album, and it's very complete, because a lot of albums that are made after a certain artist passes away, I feel like a lot of them are cash grabs, a lot of money grabs just for the estate or for the family or whatever. But I truly think this is Mac Miller, from the first song to the last song. And one of my favorite songs from this album, well, I don't know if it's my favorite song, like something that I would listen to on repeat, but one of the songs that I appreciate the most is definitely the last song on the album. It's titled Tomorrow We'll Never Know, and it's about an 11-minute song, which is crazy to think about, because who's listening to 11-minute songs? But that's why it's not something I would play on repeat. But it's definitely a very experimental song. And one main component of the song is that there is when you ring a phone, it dials, and so you can hear a constant ringing in the background. And it's very sad because the ringing is never answered, which, you could take that up to interpretation, but, he made this in 2011, and, now he's never gonna make music ever again. So it's very sad to hear, very sad to think about, but I'm very glad that we do have this album. I'm glad that Mac Miller's post-death albums were taken with a lot of care and a lot of love, and I think everybody around him, everybody who's a fan of him, will really like this album. And so I give this album an 8 out of 10. It's really good. If you like Mac Miller, you should give it a shot. And if you don't know who Mac Miller is, I recommend you go listen to him. My favorite album is Circles. My favorite song of all time is a hard choice, but I'd probably pick like any song off Circles. But yeah, enough rambling. Thank you so much for coming to Jamming with Jeff, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Thanks, Jeff. President Donald Trump signed an executive order which extended the deadline to ban TikTok in the United States. The decision followed the initial ban implemented by former President Joe Biden, which cited national security concerns over the app's Chinese ownership. The 75-day extension aims to provide more time for the U.S. government to address these security issues. Trump stated that the extension would allow him to consult with advisors and relevant departments to ensure that American users' data is protected. TikTok, which has over 170 million American users, briefly went dark on January 18th before Trump's assurances to restore the app upon his inauguration. Users in the U.S. can continue to use TikTok, but federal law prohibits companies from issuing updates and distributing the app through Google Play or the App Store. The future of the platform remains unclear.
Here is Ava McGinty giving us tips for having a good semester.
Welcome to the first episode of Hawk TV News this semester, and welcome to 2025. This is a great time to reset for the new year and create new habits, not only for the year, but also for this new semester. Today, I am going to give you some tips and tricks for having a great spring semester. So first and foremost, I think that you need to have a good sleep schedule. It's really important for you to sleep well because that is the foundation of being productive. I personally find that my quality of work is significantly worse when I'm staying up all night to kind of cram in assignments and I'm getting a really bad night's sleep. So the best way to avoid those late night cram sessions and to staying up doing late work and assignments, to not do that last minute, is by effectively managing your time. Time management can be like something that's super daunting. I know that I've always really struggled with this, and it's something that we really count ourselves out from, simply thinking that we just can't do it. But that's not true. And I've found that using a planner, and especially in the last semester, fall, I was using Google Calendar, and that really helped me like visualize my day and when I was free and when I wasn't. And then having the planner helped me write down what I need to do and accomplish for the day. So by using the planner and Google Calendar, I was blocking out specific times to do things, and that's the best way to get it done. So that being said, I know that one thing that ruins my time management skills is my ability to procrastinate. Honestly, I think it's a skill. TikTok is my #1 enemy when it comes to trying to do work. And when I'm just not in the mood to do homework, I'm always on TikTok. But I've started to try and avoid this, so I keep my phone in my bag or on the other side of the room on Do Not Disturb when I'm doing my work. And I tell myself, just work for 5 minutes, work for 10 minutes, and then like you can get a break. But I kind of enter that like flow state where I'm just getting the assignments done, and I end up finishing them fine. And I also know that I do not do my work best when I'm in my dorm room. Like I always just associate that space with like unwinding, relaxing for the day. So I try to opt to go to my favorite study spots on campus. My personal favorite is the Great Hall, and I'm also really fond of the library. And I know that the winter months can be tough for a lot of people, especially during this time. I try to keep busy and distract myself from just how dark and cold it is outside. And I do this by really trying to get involved. So we have over 100 clubs and organizations on this campus, and that is a great way to learn new skills and to meet new people, make new friends. And I think that you should join Hawk TV, but hey, I might be a little bit biased. But those are all the tips and tricks that I have. My name is Ava McGinty, and I hope that you have a great spring semester.
Thank you, Ava. The Palisades and Eaton wildfires have been raging in Los Angeles that have been fueled by powerful winds and dry conditions. This issue started early into the new year, January 7th. A city official in Los Angeles described the night of January 7th as, quote, one of the most devastating and terrifying that she had ever seen in her corner of the city. Fires have destroyed entire neighborhoods, destroying more than 16,000 homes. Losses from the fires may exceed $20 billion, and total economic losses could reach $50 billion, according to estimates published by J.P. Morgan. The official causes of the fire have not been determined. California has experienced drought-like conditions, and Southern California has powerful offshore winds. The less than 10% of average rainfall since October, first combined with the winds that hit the region in early January, prompted fire weather that was described as, quote, about as bad as it gets, according to the National Weather Service. As of January 27th, the Palisades, Eaton, and Huge fires are all above 90% containment.
The big game matchup has been decided. The Philadelphia Eagles will face the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday, February 9th at the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. The Chiefs aim for an unprecedented three-peat championship after narrowly defeating the Buffalo Bills 32-29 for the AFC title. The Eagles seek to reclaim their championship glory after their dominant 55-23-point victory over the Washington Commanders in the NFC Championship game. These two teams faced each other on football's favorite Sunday 2 years ago, making this a highly anticipated rematch for fans across the country.
We're going to hear from Frank Horley as he talks about the championship games.
What's up, everyone? I'm Frank Horley, and I'm here to recap the conference championship games that we had this weekend. We started off with a game in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, 3 p.m. kick between the Washington Commanders, who went on an absolute Cinderella run. They beat the Bucs in Tampa, the Lions, the team that everyone expected to make the big game, in Detroit. And now here they are in Philadelphia, and they started off good. They had a good 17, 18 play drive where they kicked the field goal, and you thought, okay, Washington's up 3-0, maybe they got a shot at this thing. But then Philadelphia gets the ball, and they got a reality check real quick. Saquon Barkley, on the first Eagles play from scrimmage, rushed for a 60-yard touchdown, breaking tackles, and that set the tone for the rest of the game. The Eagles ended with 7 rushing touchdowns, 7 of them, and they scored 55 points, 55, the most in a conference championship game ever. And that allowed them to advance to the big game. And then in the nightcap, we go to Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, where the Buffalo Bills went to face their demon, the Kansas City Chiefs. The Bills entering this game, 2020 AFC Championship game, 2021 divisional round, 2023 divisional round, all losses to the Chiefs. and now they get another shot at them. And this game was very competitive throughout. No team really pulled away. It was 29-29, and the Chiefs got a drive at the end where Harrison Butker kicked a go-ahead field goal. The Bills, they had about 3 minutes to work with. Can they drive down the field? They end up getting stuck with a 4th down, and Josh Allen's pass, they had pressure in his face. Dalton Kincaid could have made the play, but he dropped it, and the Chiefs just ran the clock out and advanced to the big game for the 5th time in 6 years. So we get the matchup that nobody wanted. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Kansas City Chiefs, will face off in the big game on February 9th, 2025 in New Orleans, Louisiana. I'm not very excited for it. I doubt many people are either, unless you're an Eagles fan or a Chiefs fan. But you never know. Hopefully, I don't really know who I'm rooting for in that one, honestly. I really have no preference. I don't like the Eagles, and I don't like the Chiefs. So hopefully nobody wins. And yeah, that's that. We had conference championship games, and the NFL season is almost over, unfortunately. Sad stuff, but we got baseball soon, so that's something to look forward to. But I'm Frank Corley, and I'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, Frank. There's been an issue that has come to light that people are referring to as eggflation, also known as the rise of price in eggs. The cost of eggs are up 36.8% from where they were a year ago. Wallet Hub analysts say that the flu is playing a role in the price increase, but there's other factors as well. The USDA says egg prices could rise another 20%. News 12 went to a shop in Wyckoff where a dozen of eggs cost $7.50, and consumers don't seem very happy about this. Shoppers in Paramus said the store shelves were empty of eggs. Another consumer made it apparent that eggs are a daily item for him by sharing that they make up a significant portion of their diet. Along with shopping at different grocery stores, buying eggs in bulk may help lower the price.
We're now going to hear from Sage Fernandez as she talks about the new show, Suits LA.
Suits. This show has taken over television screens worldwide and become a household name. If you're not familiar with this record-breaking show, go check it out on Netflix or Peacock. What we are really here for, though, is the show's upcoming spinoff, Suits LA. Fans are eager and anxious for the new edition. With the cast including Arrow's Stephen Amell and Victorious's Victoria Justice, it's safe to say that we can look forward to seeing Tori Vega in the adult world. It's only a short train ride to Hollywood Arts. Did she switch her major to criminal justice? ? Needless to say, fans' expectations are high. People can expect to see Gabriel Macht reprise his role as Harvey Specter and the same energy as the original show, as Aaron Korish remains the writer and producer of the show. So, tune in on Sunday, February 3rd at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC for the show's premiere. I'm Sage Fernandez, and that was Suits LA.
Thanks, Sage. Milltown, New Jersey has canceled its Groundhog Day celebration for the 4th consecutive year. The event organizers, the Milltown Wranglers, confirmed the cancellation on Facebook due to their inability to find a replacement for Milltown Mel, the local groundhog who passed away in 2022, right before his big day. Current New Jersey law makes it illegal for the Milltown Wranglers to obtain a new groundhog. Their Facebook post expressed their efforts to revise the law, but that the celebration won't be able to continue until a revision of legislation. The Milltown Wranglers hope to resume the annual festivities next year.
ABC's The Bachelor returns for the 29th season that premiered on January 27th. Among the 25 contestants to have started this season is Monmouth County's native, Allie Jo from Manalapan. Allie Jo is a boxing trainer who has a passion for fitness, the beach, and being the biggest cheerleader for people in her life. The Bachelor contestant this year is Grant Ellis, who also has Jersey roots in Newark. He made his TV debut during season 21 of The Bachelorette. Grant is the second black male star of the franchise, and he is eager to embark on this journey through this season.
We're now going to pass things off to Nolan Spur for an update on Monmouth sports.
While we were on break, Monmouth sports certainly were not, as Monmouth basketball has been underway. Monmouth women's basketball are now 10-9 and 5-3 in conference play as they knocked off top-seeded North Carolina A&T and took a 20-point victory over Northeastern. On Friday, January 24th, the Hawks hosted the Aggies after a trip to the Carolinas. Guard Damaris Rodriguez led Monmouth's offense with a game-high 18 points. She also contributed 3 assists and 3 rebounds. Forward Belle Cranbowl grabbed 10 rebounds and added 6 points, while blocking 3 of the Aggies' shots to keep the Hawks' defense secured, while guard Kamari Reynolds had a season-high 13 points off the bench. On January 26th, Northeastern traveled to West Long Branch to take on the Hawks, but left empty-handed as Monmouth took the victory 69-46. Guard Rachel Kuhl had her best game of the season, with 9 points, all coming from behind the arc. Track and field has been nothing but a record-setting season so far. Senior David Strong set the Monmouth program heptathlon record for the second time this season with a total of 5,323 points, which resulted in his second consecutive Coastal Athletic Association Men's Field Athlete of the Week award. Monmouth has held the CAA Men's Athlete of the Week award for the first 4 weeks of the season. Strong captured the first honor on December 10th, just before pole vaulter Dalton Youth captured the next 2 Athlete of the Week awards.
Thanks, Nolan. That's all the time we have for this episode of Hawk TV News. I'm Chloe Gosk.
And I'm Daysani Clark. Thank you for watching and have a good night.